Hello YouTube, Kodandi here, and it is late, but I just had the most fascinating conversation with someone that I absolutely trust to be knowledgeable about these things, that I absolutely trust is telling the truth, and that I absolutely know for a fact has the relevant background related to this topic that I'm going to talk about. Now, this person and I, we got in a conversation about psychedelic use. And I went off on my usual thing about how psychedelics are completely useless for spirituality because they are an illusion, they are creating illusions, and they are not actually giving spiritual experiences. And this person is like, yeah, you know, I know the right, because they're actually a local band, like they're from this area, and so a lot of people in this area know them, know their families, were involved. All of these people are still around, like the original hippies are still here and around, and you can absolutely talk to them and find them. And so I'm talking to this person that has this actual connection, and this person's like, yeah, got involved with MK Ultra and the Bohemian Club and the Bohemian Grove. And so the CIA was used for MK Ultra mind control experiments. MK Ultra mind control experiments, absolutely 100% documented, not a paranoid conspiracy theory. Absolutely documented. You can pull up the documents where they talk about dosing people with LSD as a way to do mind control. And so the CIA had this whatever worked out with the, and were using LSD to do mind control on people at the shows. Absolutely 100% a fact. And so all of these psychedelics that are in, this sort of like hippie music spiritual community, it's contaminated with mind control agents. And you might ask, like, what is mind control? What does this even mean? What is happening with this MK Ultra stuff? What is the science behind it? And it's like our thoughts and our feelings and our moods are not reality. They are a function of the physical body and a physiological experience. That our moods in particular are, chemical reactions, hormonal reactions happening in our brains and bodies. And it is absolutely possible, there's a huge field of psychiatric medications that alter people's moods, and that also can alter people's thoughts as well, because thoughts are also not real. Thoughts come from the same sort of chemical, hormonal things, and it's like, just the sort of bioelectrical chemical thing that's happening in our heads, and can absolutely be affected by outside chemicals. Like, if you have ever taken any kind of psych med, you know what this is like. And if you know anyone that has taken psych meds, you've seen it happen to them. How, their moods and their entire personality can change after, a few doses of these pills. And it's, that the military and the CIA have more advanced technology where they can get more precise sorts of reactions from people. And I'm hearing this from people who were in the military and experienced these things firsthand. That, that the military was giving out, mind control things, and some of them included religious type visions, except they didn't always match up the right type of religious vision with the right kind of person. So one person in particular that I got this information from, they were matched up with the wrong religious vision, and so they were experiencing it very deeply, but also totally aware that it was entirely a hallucination and not a real vision, because they got matched up with the wrong religion in their, in this like military mind control thing. But yeah, like we know this is a fact. Like, have you done DMT? Have you heard stories of people doing DMT? The stories of what people see when they are on DMT are very, very consistent. People see the variations on like the same sort of theme. They see the same sorts of shapes and colors. Everything is very, very much the same. And it is because the human brain has a standard wiring pattern that responds pretty much the same across the board in everyone that has the same sort of standard wiring pattern. Now, of course, there is a lot of neurodiversity, but the vast majority of people, their brains are wired pretty much the same. And so something like DMT causes people to have, the exact same sorts of hallucinations. And it is absolutely a hallucination. Everyone sees the same thing because of human psychology, not because there is some sort of external reality of what is going on. It is simply because of psychology that everyone sees the same thing on DMT. And, when you get at a level where you're working with CIA and military and have these advanced technologies that are beyond the law and beyond ethics, that they're able to create LSD and psychedelics that can very precisely cause, consistently the same sorts of thoughts and visions and experiences in people. And that's what they do. That is absolutely what they do. And there is a huge boom in psychedelic use in the spiritual community recently, especially around Buddhism. People saying that you should be doing psychedelics for Buddhism. And that makes no sense whatsoever, because it makes no sense whatsoever. It's not a traditional part of Buddhist practice. It is not historically a part of Buddhist practice. It is not a part of traditional Buddhist cultures in Asia. It is something very, very unique to Western Buddhist practitioners. It is not coming from some guru or some lineage. It's coming from, like, I don't know where, but chances are that these psychedelics are contaminated with MK Ultra mind control elements. And really, people with real spiritual power, that's something the CIA or, the Illuminati or whatever, they can't touch. They don't have real spiritual power. They don't have the ability to access real spiritual power because of the kinds of, mindsets that they themselves are caught in. And so they have to find these other ways to get in and dig at the people that have real spiritual power. And the only way that they can do that, or the only way that they have found to do that, is through the use of psychedelics. And the CIA is absolutely experts at using psychedelics for mind control, at using LSD for mind control. Look up MK Ultra. You can get the paperwork where the CIA is saying, yes, we gave people LSD unknowingly. Survivors of the MK Ultra experiments are speaking about this publicly. The information is out there. Psychedelics are absolutely contaminated with mind control agents. And the CIA or the Illuminati or whoever, whatever you want to call these people behind this, they're using psychedelics in the spiritual community in order to in order to get in at people with real spiritual power and people that have the ability to get people out of this sort of, mind control matrix. Because it's like when you have a real spiritual experience, all of this stuff, the psychedelic visions, the TV, the advertising, it doesn't affect you anymore. When you have an awakened third eye, when you have real, genuine spiritual experiences, you are beyond all of that, and they can no longer control you. And so by contaminating psychedelics and promoting psychedelic use in spirituality, they're destroying our chance to escape, is what's going on, is really what's going on. So don't fall for this psychedelic thing. It's not spiritual, it's mind control. Get out of it. Get out of it. Come to, the real world, come to the reality that is beyond all of this. Come to the reality that is beyond the news channels and the advertisements and the Facebook and all of this. It's there. We are here. We are awakened, and it's here. It's available. It's right in front of you. All of this, my spiritual awakening, my awakened third eye, is a gift and a blessing from my guru, Paramahamsa Nityananda. He is giving away these initiations. He is opening people's third eyes. He is helping them out of this sort of like mind control, Maya matrix that's happening. And if you really want to be awakened, you need to stop with the psychedelics and start doing real spiritual practice and start learning from a genuine guru and not learning from some like old hippie that thinks they're still relevant and is saying that psychedelics make you a better Buddhist, because it doesn't. It makes no sense whatsoever. Makes absolutely no sense. If you need psychedelics to be a better Buddhist, you're doing Buddhism wrong, okay? Buddhism is a part of Hinduism and is based on a guru sampradaya. And if you're just doing psychedelics instead of going to a proper guru, you are doing Buddhism wrong, okay? Period. End of story. It doesn't matter what you feel in your heart. What matters is that you follow the tradition as it exists. That is what Buddhism is. If you just want to follow your heart and go, eat mushrooms in the woods, don't call it Buddhism. Go and do whatever with your brain cells and leave the rest of us alone. Okay. Nityanandam.